the furlong pole, and Sugar, the 3-year-old, burst through to take it up on the far side. Generous is going to win the King George, the 6th and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes in terrific style.
And the 3-year-old's going to win it. Galileo, triumphant.
Bastino's finding his way back, but Grandy's holding him on as they come to the line. Grandy wins it.
He's on top narrowly. The strike fights back. Oh, a very, very close finish.
Idaho has taken the lead.
The Oaks goes to Enable, and Ben Battle is home by half a length. Ulysses by a nostril, by a head. Ulysses for the Coral Eclipse. Highland Reel still leads by over a length from Wings of Desire. A tactical masterclass by Ryan Moore. The Highland Reel won the King George.
First run in 1951 to coincide with the Festival of Britain and compete with the Ark. Supreme Court hadn't won the Derby because he hadn't been entered for the Classics, but he had won the Ascot equivalent, the King of the Seventh Stakes. We then had two Derby winners, Tulliar and Pinzer, before the Royal winner, which you've seen, Oriole, in 1954. Real vintage period for the race, to be honest, was 70 to 75. Plenty of Derby winners running in the race, and Dahlia became the first dual winner, 73 and 74. We saw what many seem the race of the century. Grundy versus Bastino, and then Shergar won the Derby. Dancing Brave arguably should have won the Derby. Galileo did win the Derby, and Tagruda won the Oaks. So the 3-year-olds, we've picked out a few of them for you in the later stages here. So let's check out the runners and riders for this year's renewal. Number 1, Desert Encounter, would be the first gelding to win this race, Sean Levy. 2, Highland Reel, will be the third back-to-back winner, Ryan Moore. 3, Idaho, Shamie Heffernan. 4, Jack Hobbs, William Buick. And 5, Maverick Way, Graham Lee. Number 6 is My Dreamboat for Adam Kirby, and 7, Ulysses, winner of the Eclipse, Jim Crowley for Sir Michael Stout. 8 is 60 Song, Gerard Mosse. 9, Ben Battle, Oisin Murphy. And 10, winner of the two Oaks, both the English equivalent and the Irish equivalent as well, Frankie Dettori, who's been wasting away to get down to ride the favourite. 1.5 miles is the trip for this contest, and we will be exploring softer conditions than on the straight course, particularly the Swinley Bottom, called so because he's the lowest point on the course, and that 1.5 furlongs at the bottom of the racecourse is the slowest. It will be a squelchy King George, but it does figure with a clash of the generations, which is what this race is all about.
All right, it's going to be, it'll be fresh, loose ground, if you like, but he's going to struggle for me under these conditions. How will she handle it? That's the big question, Ed. She's got tremendous form so far in the book. She looks to be improving. She's in receipt of that weight for age allowance. 14 pounds she carries. John Gosden managed to win this with Tagruda, Nathaniel, a couple of 3-year-olds so far, Dettori down to his minimum. There are lots of positives.
Yeah, but she's also got to do something that the two previous fillies who've won this race haven't done. Sorry, 3, Dahlia, Pawnese and Tagruda won this, but they didn't win the English Oaks and the Irish Oaks on the way through. It's a big ask, only 2 weeks since the Irish Oaks. I have to say she really did catch the eye in the paddock. She looks incredible.
And she's been well back now into 5 to 4. This is Idaho, Shamie Heffernan, who we spoke to earlier this afternoon. And you like his chances, bruv?
I like him very much. I mean, this is a horse, as we all know, had a terrible time in St Leger last year. I mean, here he is again. This is not on this surface at all, but he's very tough, and I think he's getting better.
And doesn't that action suggest that he probably would like a bit of cut in the ground? Quite a
definitely
big
lifts his knee.
action.
Definitely lifts his knee there.
He really was losing the plot a little bit before the race going out to the start. I think Shamie is using all his skills to keep him nice and calm.
The one horse who's forgotten, Ed, in here is My Dreamboat. These are his perfect conditions. He's not fazed by a big day. His trainer couldn't be in any better form. Look, I think Enable is going to be incredibly tough to beat. We want her to be the superstar. But for me, My Dreamboat, he could slot into a place at a huge price.
In the Rooney colours, right there. Number 6, My Dreamboat. 5 to 4, Enable. 9 to 2, Highland Reel. Jack Hobbs, who will love these conditions, goes in. Horse number 4 there. 11 to 2. Idaho 8 to 1. Ulysses, the Eclipse winner, is 9 to 1. It's 14 to 1 bar. It's the 2017 King George, and your big race commentator is Richard Hoyles.
Thank you, Ed. Yes, part of the British Champion Series, sponsored by Kipco. The King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Stakes field at the 1.5 mile start are off and racing. Highland Reel jumps out alertly. Enable is also racing handily, but as expected, the red cap of Maverick Wave moves forward. Enable racing in a very handy position. Pink cap on the outside of Highland Reel. Jack Hobbs is in 4th place early on, just ahead of Idaho, as Frankie grabs hold and allows Maverick Wave to cross. And Enable's quite free in second place. Highland Reel moves up in third. Jack Hobbs in fourth, with Idaho racing in fifth. Ben Battle, the other 3-year-old. The rear of the field early on, the likes of My Dreamboat, Ulysses, a 60s song, and also right at the back is Desert Encounter. This is the softest part of the track, and several are staying wide. Ryan Moore right off the running rail on Highland Reel as Maverick Wave stays closer to the fence. Enable splits the difference, but Ryan Moore charting this wide course at the lowest part of the race course. Jack Hobbs in the all blue just ahead of Idaho. In sixth place, Ben Battle with the white cap, Ulysses, Crossbelts, Noseband, then My Dreamboat, Desert Encounter, and the South American Raider 60s song at the back. Maverick Wave now rather being ignored by the rest of the field and has strode on to the tune of about 7 lengths or so. Enable racing in second place. Highland Reel once again staying off the running rail and now moves through to take second. In fourth place, we just have Idaho on the outside of Jack Hobbs as they're all moved off the inside of running rail, bar the pace-setting Maverick Wave, and the main body of the field is quite well bunched at this stage, so they're making their journey up from Swinley Bottom. Maverick Wave out in front. Highland Reel and Enable are side by side. Idaho tracks his brother in fourth place just ahead of Jack Hobbs, then Ben Battle in the white cap on the inside. Ulysses comes next, will be played late. My Dreamboat, 60s song, and Desert Encounter. Maverick Wave still has a lead of about 6 lengths on turning in. Highland Reel, Enable and Jack Hobbs, the big three, are all just about side by side, although early on it's Highland Reel who can't go with Jack Hobbs and Enable, who sweep past, and now it's a Gosden 1-2-3 on the home turn. Maverick Wave, Jack Hobbs, Enable. Highland Reel will need all his tenacity. Ulysses kept in the slipstream of Enable, who now strikes for home. The filly is sent to the front in the King George. Enable stalked by Ulysses, then Jack Hobbs in third. Highland Reel rallying, then Idaho. Enable is set alight. The response is impressive. Ulysses in second place all of a sudden. And Enable has won. She's won the English Oaks, she's won the Irish Oaks, and now she has won the King George.
And it's another King George for this man, trainer John Gosden. We've just seen something really special there, haven't we?
Yes, it's the fact she can do it on any ground. Frankie was bold, she breaks well, she's very businesslike. And it wasn't the plan to be that close to the pace, but he thought, look, he thinks she's the best, she's getting the weight from the older, make use of it. And I thought Ulysses made a great run at her. I thought Maverick Wave did a beautiful job pacemaking, and all in all, she's as good as filly as I've ever trained.
And you've won this race in the past with some very, very good horses. She is clearly so high class. What's next for her on the back of that?
Tack Ruder and she were brilliant fillies to win this. Following something like Dahlia and Cornese, trained by an old friend called Angel Penner. We always plan the Yorkshire Oaks. We plan the Yorkshire Oaks and then a nice pause and stop and think, no trials, and then possibly the one in Paris.
Good job, Frankie only had a grapefruit this week, isn't it?
This year, but
it's a good job, Frankie only had a grapefruit this week.
He's worked hard. I tell you the great thing about Frankie, the hunger is still there, which is wonderful at his age.
Many congratulations, John.
John Gosden's dad won it in 1960. He's won it for a third time, and what a quote that is. This horse Enable is as good a filly as he's trained. Ruff Scott, you've seen some good ones. She was brilliant today.
She was, if you remember, when she won the Oaks, we said then that we thought that was the best flat racing performance we've seen this season. And here's the second.
The dual Oaks winner becomes a King George winner. And Frankie, who's worked so hard this week, will be all smiles now. Let's hear from him, in fact, with Ollie.
Frankie Dettori, another King George. You've had to work hard to make the weight on this filly, but it was worth it.
Yeah, I lost 7 pounds in 6 days, but it was worth it. She's a superstar. It means a lot to me. I missed all of Royal Ascot to come back to the place I love so much, Ascot. It's great.
A huge cheer for Enable, and what a filly she is. Just soak this up. It is amazing the reception she's getting. How good is she, Frankie?
She's as good as I rode. I miss this kind of buzz, these big occasions, ride a horse like this, but wins the King George by 4 lengths. And she's proved all the doubters that she's the real deal, and I love her so much.
It makes not being able to have lunch, breakfast and supper worthwhile, right?
Absolutely. I'm going to have a big dinner tonight, that's for sure, Ollie.
Frankie, many, many congratulations. What a filly Enable is. Well done.
Easy, effortless, enchanting, Enable. I wrote this morning that she'd take them out like a sniper, no mercy. And that's exactly what she did. 5-4 favourite Enable. She was available at 6-4, 11-10 in a place. Ulysses at 9-1 has run a corker. Idaho at 8-1. The weight for age, the filly's allowance, all that kind of thing will come into question once again, because quite simply, this is the only sport where you should be running on level terms, but a horse is getting a stone from the others. But if you're a punter, you don't care 2 hoots. You just knew she was special, she was getting a stone. And as for Highland Reel, what the hell was he doing?
Frankie's going to absolutely love this. A 5th King George after Lamtara, Swain, Daylami, Diane as well. If ever we're due a flying dismount, we're going to see it now. Frankie all smiles, and the girl has thrashed the boys, Francesca.
Yeah, she sure has. We've had this discussion a few times on ITV, and I still maintain that when you get a really good filly or mare, they're so much better than the colts and the geldings around. I mean, look at the likes of Winks, Black Caviar, Trev, Zenyatta, Rachel Alexander, Snow Fairy.
The list goes on.
I mean, the list goes on, and she has just proved it today.
Listen to that.
Listen to that, exactly.
It's Frankie time. And Bruff, he's giving all the credit, as you can see, to the filly Enable. Down the line, people surely look at this and think, if you've got a good 3-year-old, particularly if you've got a good 3-year-old filly, come to the King George.
Well, I think so. This is a real measurement. And if you're going to say how tough or how good is your horse, here you are, look at this one. Hooray!
Crowd loved it.
He's still got enough energy for this flying dismount. I mean, what did he say? He lost 7 pounds in the week. That's half a stone.
Yeah, 7 pounds in 5 or 6 days on a very strict diet. He would have been training, he would have been treadmill, he would have been working.
Frankie wins the King George. Juddmonte win the King George with the brilliant Enable. All hugs. Teddy Grimthorpe.